Perhaps all of us have heard the familiar advice: drink a glass of water as soon as you wake up to purify your body and start a healthy new day. And yes, water is always a loyal companion of health. However, what few people mention is that when we enter old age, the body no longer reacts like it did in the 30s or 40s. Habits that were once very good, if not gently adjusted, sometimes bring unwanted effects. Not because we do anything wrong, but because the body at this age needs to be listened to and cared for with more tenderness and care. After a long night's rest, when the first light of morning filters through the curtains, the body is still in a transition phase. Blood pressure begins to stabilize, hormones slowly return, and the digestive system is gently waking up. That is the time when we need to treat ourselves with kindness and respect, even in the seemingly simplest actions like drinking a glass of water. During her morning healthcare journey, Margaret, a lucid and experienced 80-year-old woman, realized that small things such as water temperature, drinking speed, or the habit of leaving a water bottle overnight can have a significant impact on mental and physical health throughout the day. Her story is not a warning, but a gentle reminder that our bodies today are not the bodies we had yesterday. Healthy habits need to be adjusted to truly fit the present. In the following pages, you and Margaret will look back at 5 seemingly harmless mistakes when drinking water in the morning and discover simple but profound adjustments to start each day with peace, lightness, and vitality. Mistake 1. Drinking water too quickly, too much when you wake up. After a long sleep, when the body has just left a state of deep rest, all internal organs are still gently finding their natural rhythm. The heart rate slowly increases, blood pressure begins to regulate again, the digestive system is still quiet and not ready to receive any strong impacts. Yet many people, because their mouth feels dry or they want to purge quickly, have the habit of drinking a large glass of water in just a few hasty gulps. That seemingly simple habit can cause the body to become confused and overloaded. When water rushes in too quickly, the stomach can expand suddenly, leading to a feeling of fullness, discomfort, or even mild nausea. Some people feel dizzy, restless, or confused right after, without understanding why. The kidneys and nervous system must now work quickly to adjust, disrupting the balance that is being naturally restored after sleep. Margaret, 80 years old, used to believe that drinking lots of water immediately after waking up was a good habit. Every morning, she holds a full bottle of water on the nightstand and drinks it all in just a few seconds. But then, there were mornings when she felt slightly short of breath, lightheaded, and mentally tired, even though she had not slept the night before. After sharing this once during a routine health checkup, the doctor suggested a simple but meaningful change to her. She began to drink water slowly, taking small sips, breathing gently while drinking, and sitting relaxed in the morning sunlight. After just a few days, she noticed that her body became more comfortable, no longer feeling dizzy or nauseous every morning. Each sip of water becomes a moment of calm, allowing the body to truly wake up in peace. From Margaret's story, we realize that what the body needs in the morning is not urgency or force, but kindness and patience. A glass of water, if received gently, not only quenches thirst, but also awakens each cell with love and respect for oneself. Mistake 2. Drinking water from plastic bottles left overnight. In the middle of the night, or as soon as you open your eyes to greet a new day, reaching for a bottle of water to keep next to your bed sounds like a convenient and thoughtful habit. For many people, it's a way to make sure they remember to drink water as soon as they wake up. However, what few people pay attention to is that the type of bottle we use and the amount of time the water stays in it can affect the quality of the water we rely on. Many types of plastic bottles, especially those that are reused many times or of unknown origin, can release certain chemical compounds when left for a long time in a warm environment. One of the substances that causes the most concern is BPA, often found in hard plastic or cheap bottles. Although some products are labeled as BPA-free, similar alternative compounds can still cause endocrine disruption, affecting hormone stability in the body. This becomes more sensitive as age increases, when the body no longer adjusts as easily as when young. Margaret once placed a transparent plastic bottle next to her bed, right near the bedside lamp that was often left on all night. She finds it very convenient and still believes that she is taking care of her health regularly. However, gradually she began to feel confused when she always felt lethargic in the morning, accompanied by mild headaches and the feeling that her digestion was not really smooth. Everything else in her regimen remained the same until she accidentally mentioned that bottle of water during a conversation with her nutritionist. That is the missing piece of the puzzle. From that day on, Margaret decided to replace the old plastic bottle with a simple, clean glass bottle and change the water every morning. No more water left overnight, no more light warming the bottle, no more strange smells lingering in each sip at the beginning of the day. And from then on, she noticed that vague fatigue gradually disappeared. Each morning became clearer and more pleasant, as if her body was relieved to no longer have to deal with invisible things that she had not noticed before. Big changes start from small things, and sometimes just by changing a bottle, we give our bodies a chance to live a purer, more peaceful life from the seemingly most trivial things. Mistake 3. Skip breakfast, only drink water. In an era where health information is spread everywhere, many elderly people have begun to hear about modern diet methods such as intermittent fasting or only drinking water in the morning to purify the body. Those tips may be true for some people at a young age, when the body still has plenty of energy reserves and can easily adapt to challenging changes. But with the body going through many decades, the needs become different. At this time, the important thing is no longer less is better, but enough to nourish the body. After a long night without food, the body comes into the morning with depleted energy reserves, low blood sugar, and internal organs waiting for a little fuel to start working properly. If you only drink water, whether warm or clean, the body still lacks the necessary nutrients to start the metabolism, nourish the brain, and maintain mental stability throughout the morning. Margaret, who is always curious and eager to learn, once read about the benefits of fasting breakfast as a way to rejuvenate the body. For a few weeks, she tried drinking only water in the morning and not eating anything until noon. At first, she felt lighter and her mind seemed clearer. But soon her daughter began to notice that Margaret often repeated the same story over and over, or forgot things she had just said. She also easily becomes irritable and moody for no apparent reason. Even though her sleep was still good, every morning she woke up feeling like she wasn't completely ready to welcome the new day. After a health checkup and a chat with the doctor, Margaret started to return to her breakfast routine, but in a very gentle way. A boiled egg, a few slices of fruit, a slice of wholemeal bread, and some dried nuts. Not fancy, not much, but just enough for the body to have support. After just a few days, her mind became clearer, her memory stabilized, and her mood became much more pleasant. It's an easy to recognize difference that comes from listening to your body at the right time. Breakfast doesn't have to be full or luxurious. Just be present, attentive to your own real needs. When we start the day with proper nourishment, both the body and the mind have the opportunity to recover and develop in harmony and sustainability. Mistake 4. Drinking cold water on an empty stomach. A glass of cool water in the morning was once considered a symbol of refreshment. The feeling of cool water flowing through the throat sometimes brings instant alertness, making us feel like we have just been invigorated. However, that is not always true, especially for bodies that have gone through many years and become more sensitive to sudden changes in temperature. When we sleep, the body enters a deep state of recovery. Heart rate slows down, blood pressure stabilizes, digestive organs rest, and blood vessels under the skin constrict to keep warm. When morning comes, all those mechanisms begin to slowly return to normal life. And in that moment, if we pour a glass of cold water into our stomach, the body will react as if being rudely awakened. The stomach may contract slightly, blood vessels may constrict, a cold feeling spreads across the chest, and sometimes leave discomfort that lasts throughout the morning. Margaret used to not be able to start her day without a glass of cold water straight from the refrigerator. She liked the feeling of numbness and coolness, thinking it was an effective way to dispel sleepiness. But then she noticed that her hands and feet were often colder in the morning, her stomach felt tight, and her digestion was not as smooth as before. One day she felt shivers for no apparent reason, accompanied by a slight headache. When talking with the doctor, she was advised to let the water come to room temperature or warm it slightly before drinking. Although at first she felt a bit lacking in refreshment, after just a few days, Margaret began to realize that her body was much more comfortable. There was no more sudden cold feeling, no more cramping in the abdomen, and especially her mood in the morning became more stable and lighter. Instead of being overstimulated, the body is greeted with calmness and harmony. The most valuable thing that old age brings is not strength, but the ability to feel more delicately with each small change. And that's why a sip of warm water in the morning is not only a choice for the body, but also a way we send ourselves an affectionate greeting for the new day. Mistake 5. Drinking lots of water right after taking medicine on an empty or full stomach. For many older people, starting the morning with a pill is familiar. It could be medication for blood pressure, thyroid, heart disease, or blood sugar. Most of us are told to take medicine with water, but we are rarely given specific instructions on how much water is enough and whether being hungry or full has any effect on the effectiveness of the medicine. In fact, when taking medicine in the morning with a large amount of water while the stomach is empty, the stomach can become strongly stimulated. This can easily cause nausea, bloating, and even cause the medicine to wash out too quickly before being absorbed properly. On the contrary, if you have just finished eating a full breakfast and then take medicine with a full glass of water, some medicines that need an empty environment to be effective cannot work effectively. The body therefore falls into a state of suspended animation, uncomfortable, for which it is difficult to explain the real cause. Margaret, like many people of her generation, always complied with taking her medicine every morning. She has a habit of drinking a full glass of water after taking her thyroid medication and then eating breakfast immediately. Sometime later, she began to notice brief bouts of nausea in the early morning hours, accompanied by a sick feeling in her stomach and sometimes mild fatigue that she had never experienced before. Worried that her body was having problems, she went to the doctor for a checkup, but the test results were completely normal. It was during a gentle conversation with her doctor that she was asked how to take her medicine every morning. When she recounted her habit of drinking a lot of water and eating right after, she was advised to try changing. From the next day, Margaret only used a small sip of water to swallow the medicine, then waited about 45 minutes before eating breakfast. She also shortened the breakfast a bit, just enough to fill, but not too heavy. After just a few days, the nausea disappeared, and my feeling became much more stable and comfortable. Both her mind and body seemed to be untangled from a silent knot that she had never thought of before. The habit of taking medicine seems simple, but requires sophistication and understanding. Because after many years have passed, the body is no longer a machine that can endure everything, but a garden that needs to be cared for little by little. The way we put medicine and water into our bodies every morning is also the way we show respect and kindness towards ourselves. In my youthful years, our bodies can easily adapt to surprises, ill-considered habits, and rushed mornings. But as we go through many seasons in life, our bodies begin to speak to us with gentler, quieter signals requiring deep listening and intentional care. A glass of water in the morning seems so simple, but in that simplicity lies so many subtleties. From water temperature, drinking speed, water container, medication timing, to the presence of a snack, all are small details that, if adjusted properly, can provide a pleasant and soothing start to the long day ahead. Margaret's story is nothing short of miraculous. She does not use expensive methods or follow complicated health trends. What she did was just stop for a moment, observe her body more, listen to small changes and adjust each daily action with kindness. It was the change from the simplest things that brought her a more complete and peaceful feeling every morning. If you're feeling your body reacting differently, if brief bouts of fatigue or mild confusion at the beginning of the day begin to appear, try stopping for a moment. Let each sip of water be taken with respect. Let breakfast be a time of nourishment, not only for the body, but also for the soul. And remember, self-care doesn't have to start with big things. Sometimes, if you just change the way you start your day, everything else will become easier. Because you deserve to live every day, not just to survive, but to feel comfortable, clear, and complete in the same body that has accompanied you through the years.